Most people think rich people are obsessed with money. Charts, numbers, secret investments, complicated strategies. But here's the truth that surprises almost everyone. The wealthiest people usually follow a system so simple, it almost feels too boring to work. And that boredom? That's exactly why it does work. I've spent a long time studying how financially successful people actually organize their money, not what they post online, not what gurus sell, but what they do behind the scenes. And what I found had nothing to do with crypto hype, stock predictions, or chasing the next big thing. Instead, it came down to one repeatable framework that works whether you earn a modest income or a very high one. Today, I want to break down that framework. It's called the 15-65-20 method, and once you understand it, you'll realize building wealth isn't about being smart, it's about being consistent. And the best part? You can start using this system with your very next paycheck. Why wealth feels complicated, but isn't. The financial world loves complexity, because the more confusing money feels, the more likely you are to hand control over to someone else. But the basics of wealth building haven't changed in decades. They're simple enough that a teenager could understand them. Here's the key idea most people miss. Wealth isn't determined by how much money you earn, it's determined by how you use the money you already have. You can earn 6 figures and feel broke every month. You can also earn far less and still build long-term wealth. The difference is the system. Think of your income like a recipe. If you randomly mix ingredients, the result is unpredictable. But when each portion has a purpose, everything works together. The first, 15% your future fund. 15% of everything you earn is reserved for future you. Not bills, not shopping, not entertainment. This money has one job, to grow. Now, if 15% sounds intimidating, that's normal. But this portion does 2 powerful things. First, it creates protection. Life doesn't ask for permission before throwing problems at you. Car repairs, medical bills, job changes. Without savings, those moments create panic. With savings, they become inconveniences. Second, it builds wealth through growth. This money isn't meant to sit idle. It's meant to be invested so it can earn returns, and then earn returns on those returns. That's compound growth. And over time, it becomes incredibly powerful. Here's a simple comparison. One person invests a lump sum early and lets it grow. Another person invests more money later but starts much later. Even though the second person contributes more overall, the early starter often ends up wealthier simply because time did the heavy lifting. Time matters more than effort. Where this 15% should go. Wealthy people take advantage of accounts designed to help money grow efficiently. If an employer offers contribution matching, that's free money. Ignoring it is like turning down part of your paycheck. Beyond that, tax-advantaged accounts exist specifically to reward long-term saving. The strategy is straightforward. 1. Use the most tax-efficient options first. 2. Keep investing consistently. 3. Avoid overthinking it. When it comes to investments, successful people choose boring on purpose. Instead of chasing hot stocks, the 65% living expenses. This is where most people quietly sabotage themselves. As income rises, spending tends to rise with it. Better apartment, nicer car, more frequent upgrades. Before long, the raise disappears and the stress stays. Capping core expenses at 65% creates a boundary. It forces intentional decisions instead of automatic upgrades. This category includes true necessities: housing, transportation, food, utilities. Not everything that feels essential actually is. Wealthy people often live below their means early on, especially with housing and cars, because they understand something critical. Small monthly savings can turn into massive long-term gains. A cheaper car payment invested over years can outperform the car itself many times over. The final 20% guilt-free enjoyment. This might be the most misunderstood part. This 20% is for fun, hobbies, treats, travel, enjoying life. And yes, it's intentional. People who try to save every dollar usually burn out. Eventually, they splurge, feel guilty, and abandon the system entirely. Wealthy people avoid that cycle by planning enjoyment, not eliminating it. When fun has a budget, spending feels controlled, not reckless. Guilt disappears. The system becomes sustainable. The rule is simple. When the 20% is used up, it's used up. No borrowing from the future. No touching the 15%. Discipline is what makes freedom possible. What if this feels impossible right now? If you're barely surviving financially, this system might feel unrealistic. That's okay. Wealth doesn't start with perfection, it starts with progress. If 15% isn't possible, start with 5%. If 65% feels too tight, aim for 75% and slowly improve. The habit matters more than the exact number. As income grows, the system scales automatically without letting lifestyle inflation steal your progress. Final thought. Most wealthy people didn't start rich. They started with ordinary incomes and extraordinary consistency. The 15-65-20 method isn't magic. It's discipline, patience, and time working together. Start where you are. Stay consistent. And let your future self reap the rewards.